Well, good evening, everyone. I'm so glad to be here. I look out at this room, and it's like old home time. I think I just saw all of you last week at a meeting, but it's great to see the amazing support for this amazing organization. I was mentioning to Hamdi earlier that this night is really special. I think you feel that in the air. It's very significant that we honor and we respect the amazing community of the Somalian refugees that are here in South King County and in our city, in the city of Seattle, where I live. So I'm just kind of incredibly blown away to be here. So thank you all for coming out tonight. I am really honored to be here for another reason, and that I'm a Pawnee tribal member from the Oklahoma is where I'm from, and my tribe is from. But I want to recognize tonight that we are on Coast Salish territory. That the Duwamish people and the Muckleshoot people and the Tulalip people, this was their area. And so I just want to honor and respect that and invite you to take a moment to think about where we're at. And to think about the first people of this land and how we owe them a debt of gratitude to be able to live here, to be able to experience the beautiful place of South King County and Seattle, of the state of Washington. I just really feel honored to be able to be a citizen now of Washington and to be on Coast Salish territory. So I just wanted to recognize them as we began tonight. And I incredibly happy to be here, as I've mentioned already. I keep saying that because it's really true. Mostly to support the incredible work of Somali Youth and Family Club, to walk alongside my friends who join me in the work of advocating for our relatives who are experiencing homelessness. I'm incredibly proud to call Hamdi my friend. I gladly follow her leadership and rely on her expertise as my colleague in our work to end homelessness. And it really comes from my heart, Hamdi, that when I sit next to you at a meeting, I stop and I listen. And I think all of us in the community greatly rely on your leadership. And I just want to recognize that as we begin tonight. I have a strong kinship and understanding of the work of Somali Youth and Family Club. I, too, lead an organization that serves a specific population. The Chief Seattle Club is an organization that serves American Indian and Alaska Native people who are experiencing homelessness. And I'm sad to say that in King County and in Seattle, Native people are 7 times more likely to experience homelessness. We know that people of color experience homelessness at higher rates. We know that brown women, brown men, brown children face homelessness at higher rates in King County. We have to stop. We have to recognize. We have to take a moment to consider why. Why so many brown people experiencing homelessness? And the work that we do at the Chief Seattle Club is a response to the disproportionate rates of homelessness amongst my relatives, the first people of this country. At Chief Seattle Club, we recognize the needs of Native people to go to a place where they belong, where they see familiar faces, where they can eat traditional foods and practice traditional spirituality. Every year we serve over 50,000 meals, but that's not the most important work that we do at the Chief Seattle Club. The Chief Seattle Club is there to provide sacred space, to provide for Native brothers and sisters where they face no discrimination, where they feel welcomed, loved, and accepted. Recently, I spoke with my program manager who had been in our wellness center. And in our wellness center at the Chief Seattle Club, you can come in and you can partake in traditional foods. You can sit down and do a traditional arts and craft project and just be comfortable being a Native person in this city where you often face discrimination. And she said that one of our members came in. He's a 40-year-old Native man. It's been over 10 years since he lived with his tribal community. And she invited him to drink some of this nettle tea that they had in the wellness center. And he drank the nettle tea and he started talking to her. And he started saying to her, you know, I haven't had this kind of tea in over 20 years. But I remember very clearly as a child going with my grandparents and picking these nettles off the side of the road and turning them into tea like this. And he goes, yeah, it's really bittersweet to drink this tea. It's bittersweet because this is my tradition, this is my way. But yet now I'm here in this city where I'm experiencing homelessness. He was experiencing addiction. And most of all, he was experiencing hopelessness. And it's our desire when we bring back our traditions, we bring back our culture, is to remind our people of who they really are. Because when my friend at the Chi Seattle Club was drinking that tea, he was reminding his body, he was reminding his spirit of who he really was as a Native man. And the amazing thing that happened later on that day is he went and met with a social worker to start the process towards going into a recovery program. And that is the beauty of culturally specific programs, like the program that we're here to honor today. Homelessness is hard. It's hard to day after day after day just work to survive. It's traumatic to see your children sleeping in the car. It's exhausting to sleep in the same room with 100 other men. Every public shower that you have to take eats away at your dignity. It's grueling to navigate our system, to find the mental capacity to tell yet one more case manager why you're experiencing homelessness. The many times you've entered detox, and then a treatment facility, and the deep desire to be anywhere but in the situation that you're in. Our homeless relatives are aching. They're asking us to notice their humanity, their importance, and their significance in this world, in this city, and in this county. It's organizations like Somali Youth and Family Club that make the difference. The value of having case managers who look like you, who know you, who understand your ways, who understand your teas, who understand your dances. That is what's making a difference. Who will offer, there are people in this organization who know what it's like to be where their client is at, who will offer the services that make sense. Often our system doesn't make sense, and that's why it's so important to have culturally specific programs with people who know how to get people to that next step, to walk hand in hand towards healing and wellness. I'm very blessed to have had a Lakota teacher who helped mentor me throughout my childhood and my adulthood. I call him Uncle Richard. And one time he told me, Colleen, it's so important that when you are speaking in front of a room like this that I'm in today, to remember that each one of them are your relatives. And so I want to remind you tonight that each one of us, as you look around your table, that we belong to each other, that we offer each other love and support, and that we offer love and support to our homeless relatives, our relatives who tonight will sleep outside, that we have an opportunity tonight to give strength and to remember that this organization is one of the biggest assets in ending homelessness, to understand that offering culturally appropriate services is making a difference, that the work that Hamdi and her staff are doing is groundbreaking and unprecedented. And as they respond to our refugee relatives and find ways to speak their language, respond to the needs with cultural understanding, this is an organization that cannot be replicated. I invite you to think big tonight, to give all that you can, and to remember that we have so much to learn from this organization. I want to thank you so much for coming out tonight. I want to offer my time, if you're ever interested in hearing about culturally specific programming. And I want to thank Hamdi and her staff for this beautiful evening. And the dancers, they were amazing. I don't know where they went, but they were so great. Thank you.